Do you agree with Aaron Rodgers' reaction?
I do. Skip, I think the mistake that Andrew Luck made is that he tried to confide in some people, and they betrayed that very trust. And now people can understand why LeBron James kept this thing close to the vest when he made the decision, because that information would have gotten out. Skip, my grandpa used to always say, boy, two people can keep a secret, but one of them needs to be dead to make sure that thing follows through. Someone told. Now, we have a good indication that he told the owner, Jim Irsay. He told the general manager, I forget his name, Chris Ballard. I think that's his name, Chris Ballard. Jacoby Brissett said he told him. Now, more than one person knew. So, Skip, there's no way to definitively pin it down who actually leaked this information to Andrew Luck. Now, Schefter, in the business that he's in, Skip, time is money. And the longer he lets this go, maybe the guy that told Schefter told someone else, and they put the information out there. A lot of times, Skip, people put information out there because they want to be first. Not right first. Well, in this business, Skip, you cannot be second. Second basically is slow feet. Slow feet don't eat.
Yeah, in their world.
Yes. So it was terrible how it was handled. And I think, I guess I know, well, I would assume that Luck is sitting back like, man, I confided in some people that I thought it was trust because this was a big decision for me. And the very people that I thought I could trust, they betrayed that trust. But for the fans, Skip, that's unacceptable. Skip, I see a lot of guys, you hear fans talk when you see some of these guys, and I go to the Hall of Fame, and I've been back basically every year since I was inducted. And I see some of the guys slowing down. I see some of the guys that's suffering from neurological disease and the tremor, Skip. And I hear fans say, well, you know what you signed up for. Well, Andrew Luck knows what he signed up for, and he says, I don't want to do it this year. But the fans feel like he owed them something. You're not willing to die for my entertainment? You're not willing to be unhappy for my entertainment? You mean to tell me that you would rather be healthy and live a productive life moving forward and be able to play with your kids and have a nice, happy life? You would rather not do that and not please me? You mean to tell me I don't mean that much to you? You willing to tell me you won't die for me, for my entertainment? Andrew Luck says no. Oh, how dare you? You quit on the. You mean to tell me a week before the season, 2 weeks before the season? Skip, I believe Andrew Luck actually thought, Skip, in April that this thing was going to get better. But then comes May, June, July, and here we are August, Skip. We're 2 weeks away from the season. And Andrew Luck says, damn, I feel worse now than I did when I first got the injury. And doctors probably told him, Andrew, you're still probably a couple of months away if you're able to play at all.
I don't know what injury you're talking about because this is the biggest mystery in sports
exactly.
Right now. You must be talking about something really serious.
Right. And so he's like, nah. And he said, yeah, I made a vow to myself in 2016 that I was never going to play like that again. Because, Skip, no matter what you think of him, he's overrated this and all the hype about being the next John Elway. Andrew Luck has set a standard for himself. And anything less than that would be unacceptable to him.
Good. Got it.
And he says, you know what? I'm going to step away because I do not wish to be average. I agree with Aaron Rodgers. This situation, the team should not have, whomever leaked this, you're a jackass for doing it because the man put his trust in you and you betrayed his trust. And the fans that did boo, that was unacceptable. The man doesn't owe you anything. He owes it to himself and to his family to make the best decision moving forward for him and his family. Not for your fantasy, not for your playoff winning or division winning or Super Bowl aspiration, for himself. Because at the end of the day, Skip, he's the one that got to wake up with these bumps and bruises and live for himself, not for some fan.
Okay, and that is his inalienable right to walk away from.
Yes.
Okay, no problem with that. But Aaron Rodgers is trying to tell us that, hey, he should get a standing ovation. He should be celebrated for what he did do for those fans.
Right.
Nope, you don't get it, Aaron. I'm sorry, but I do get this one because I've been doing this for a long time, and I've watched hundreds and hundreds of star athletes come and go.
Yes.
And I've watched many of them try to transition into our business here, especially you.
Yes.
And there's always this period. It's a hard sort of to snap out of who was I and who am I? It's hard to come back to reality of who are you. And Doug Baldwin went on and on yesterday talking about that transition, how difficult it is, because you develop, according to Doug, a God complex where you're so hero worship that you start to think, I'm invincible, I'm immortal. You need to worship me because I can do something you can't do. And he called it a false affirmation and a false validation of who you really are as a human. And I applaud Andrew if he did, in fact, we don't know that he's going to stay retired, but we think we're edging toward he's going to stay retired.
Well, I believe he'll stay retired in 2019.
Okay, fine. But the point is, right now, he's going to miss this season because he's thinking about, as Doug Baldwin says, how can I play with my kids as I start to have children? Can I play with them? Will I be able to think straight as they grow up into their high school and college years?
Right.
Well, okay, those are huge questions to ask. But here it is, cold, hard facts. What do those people up in the stands want the most? Number one, they're willing to pay a lot of money for you to entertain them because you were born with physical gifts they were not born with. Gifts to play a violent game. It is a dangerous game.
Very.
And make plays on Sundays and Monday nights and Thursday nights that those people up in the stands maybe wanted it at one point in their young lives to make, and they just couldn't do it. So that's pure entertainment level. And number two, and maybe even more important, what's the essence of pro sports or college sports? Bragging rights. Because those people up in the stands want you to win for them bragging rights with their friends who love other teams, at work against coworkers who love other teams, maybe in fantasy football, bragging rights, but wherever they go, on social media, they want bragging rights. That's the essence of what we're doing right now, bragging rights. I want to be able to brag to you about my Dallas Cowboys. So in the end, they just want to know, what can you do for my bragging rights? And then after it's over, then it's over. Then you go on out because you get highly compensated for doing what you do.
But Skip, the mere fact that he's willing to walk away from $60 million over the last 2 years of his deal should tell you something. How many people you know will walk away from $60 million?
Okay, fine, but that's his choice. But that doesn't impact their bragging rights. It just is negative. It's simply. And again, Aaron got this right. It was all out of sequence. It was cart before horse because, as he said, I don't know why that doesn't stay in-house to kind of protect him a little bit. So it was completely out of order that Andrew's down on the sideline kind of having a happy time with his teammates, and everybody's looking at their phones up in the stands saying, wait a second, Schefter's reporting he's retired. He has? Well, we didn't know that. So again, they're not booing Andrew Luck. Nobody hates Andrew Luck.
They booed him.
Okay, they don't hate him personally because you know why? Because he's just a big bearded nerd. That's the way he comes. He's like the nicest guy in the history of pro sports,
great guy.
Right?
He is.
And he's not even on social media, so there's not 1 ounce of diva in Andrew Luck. He's never done one bad thing off the field that I'm aware of.
Right.
And the point is, they're not booing him. I told you yesterday, they're booing it because this team was on the verge of doing something really great. This team's on the verge of greatness, as in get to the Super Bowl.
Well, let me ask you a question, Skip. When entertainers retire, actors, actresses, musicians, they walk down the street, how many people boo them?
Okay.
You dare to entertain me.
You're right. You're right.
Skip, Andrew, you somebody.
Okay, I told you they're booing it because the rug just got jerked out from under them because they're watching a team they think is a Super Bowl team, and all of a sudden, their Super Bowl just went up in smoke, Shannon. It went up in smoke.
So
they're devastated. They're stunned. This came out of the bolt out of the blue like they're struck by lightning.
You would rather Andrew Luck go out there and try and fake it, be miserable, potential do harm to his body.
No, I don't care about that. I'm with him.
I'm saying the fans.
Okay.
They would rather have that.
Here's all they know. They were told this was the next John Elway, and they were told that Jim Irsay is going to push Peyton out the back door. That's what he did that day, in favor of going forward with Andrew Luck. And what did Andrew Luck do for them over 7 football seasons? He gave them 4-4 in the postseason. He gave them 2 huge, embarrassing losses at the hands of Brady and the Patriots, right? One in the AFC Championship game.
There's no shame in that.
Okay, and listen, Andrew Luck stunk up that. It was the Deflategate game.
Yes.
It was an all-time
A lot of people
stinker.
have stunk it up against Tom Brady in the playoffs in that Foxborough.
And then Andrew stunk it up in the very last playoff game that we saw him play in, which was at Kansas City, where he had a QBR of 20 on a scale of 0 to 100.
Okay.
And it was a bad game, and it left a bad taste in everybody's mouth because They thought last year they had taken off. They steamrolled my team second to the last game of the year, 23-0.
Your team was never as good as you thought they were, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, they won a playoff game.
As Doug spoke by in that article, he says false affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
I understood at a very young age when I got to the NFL, you applauded what I did, not who I was. So once it wasn't Shannon Sharpe touchdown pass from John Elway.
So then you're agreeing with me. They're booing what he is, not what he was, but what he could do.
No,
right?
Skip. What he could do. Well, who could do that? Andrew Luck. Skip, you can't say, Skip, how do you say you love chicken but hate the egg? They go hand in hand. He created it.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.